So hello everyone, it's an honor to be here, and I present you the most common damages of the wooden outdoor sculptures and main conservation processes. And I would like to begin with introduction of different wooden artwork types. So, wooden artworks takes an important place in the cultural heritage of Lithuania. Outdoor sculptures include chapels, crosses, roof pillars, and chapel pillars that were built on the roadsides, roads, and near houses for various occasions. We can be proud that in order to preserve this Lithuanian tradition, it was inscribed in 2008 on the UNESCO representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. We also will be talking about wooden sculptures on churches' facades. There you can see Kvietkai Church with a Saint John Nepomuk sculpture on its pediment. And we will be talking about the sculpture damages and restoration a bit furthermore. We also mention a different wooden monuments with sculpture decor. Like there's also like tombstones or decorative wooden sculptures and etc. And there you can see the memorial to famous Lithuanian artist Čiurlionis. Sculptures were often carved from linen wood because this wood is soft and easy to carve. Sculptures that was created for decorating church facades or the crosses were often carved from coriferous wood or oak wood. The sap in coriferous wood protects the wood from humidity, while oak wood is very dense and strong and resistant to atmospheric impact. This means that when choosing the type of the wood carver, our lady was thinking about longevity of the artwork. Wooden artworks will often polychromed, varnished, or coated with other finishes. Such a decoration partly protects the wood, but it also plays an important role as an aesthetic or iconographic point of view. And now we will discuss the factors that cause wood to decay, and let's start with the biological factors. Wood components are cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. These materials are food for biological organisms. Biodestructors can play an important role in nature by breaking down everything that falls, which is natural cycle of the wood. During evolution, humans learned how to use the wood for their needs, like building houses and making tools, and also making art. However, once the tree cut down, the process of microbiological destruction begins. The human desire to preserve objects of art seems to contradict the laws of nature. The most damage to wood structure caused by bacteria, microfungi, higher fungi, leeches, and entomological pests. Fungi destructive impact can be mechanically and biochemically. The hive of the wood-destroying fungi produce enzymes that break down the cells of the wood and turning them into substances that fungi can't feed on. And then wood became soft. And there we can see an example of sculpture assembly. cold seasons, sculptures were exhibited in the nature and were infected by the fungi. You can see, you can see they are growing out of it. Which completely destroyed the interior of the sculpture, but the layer of paint and varnishes kept the wall shape of the sculpture. Damage went unnoticed for a very long time when one of the sculptures completely lost mechanical strength and fell over. Due to the spread of the infection, it was impossible to restore the sculpture. One stage of wood decay is rot. Fungi usually cause two types of rot. There is white and brown rot, and the photos shows examples of the brown rot. Soft wood became more accessible to the entomological pests, and wood-destroying insects lay their eggs in softened wood, and larvae gnaws away tunnels in weakening structure even more. And the growing problem is that climate change is encountering the spread of invasive organisms that can damage wooden structure. This tendency is likely to intensify in upcoming decades. The biological deterioration of the wooden artworks may require a new research. And there is another important factor, wood-destroying factor, is humidity. The most important cause of wood deformation is a change of wood volume due to humidity fluctuation. In dry environment, wood dries out and shrinks. When absorbing humidity, wood becomes wet and expands. The parameters of the wood volume constantly change depending on the humidity and of the environment. This is an unstoppable process. The lower part of the sculptures where humidity accumulated the most is the particularly rotten and crumbling away. As you can see in the picture, the upper part of the sculpture is relatively well, but the lower part is practically damaged and has crumbled away over time. When precipitation falls on the sculpture for the long time, wood inside rots, so the figure became hollow. This happens to the sculpture of Saint Agatha you see in the slide, which stood on the roof of the chapel. Now the sculpture is kept indoors, and the newly carved copy stands in its old place. The wood carvings often came into direct contact with the soil. Crosses often simply buried in the ground, where processes of the wood decay occurs much faster. When a constant contact with increased humidity, wood rots and broken down by organisms in the soil. The photos show wood carver, crossed by wood carver Matas Gurskis. This one photo is from interwar period, and this photo is from today. So when the lower part rotted away, the cross was reburied, and the large part of the stem with ornamental carvings. It's about a quarter of wall cross size, and the markings show the defined remaining parts of the cross. So in this slide, you can see the same cross, upper bottom part that was buried in the ground. As you can see, the wood lost its structure and is crumbling. The small carved details are particularly sensitive to the environment. When damaged by humidity, they often loosen, break off, or even get lost. The photo shows the across by wood carver Antanas Soroka that was restored in our center a few years ago. Outdoor conditions also severely damaged the paint and ground layer in other themes, polychromy. Due to wood deformation, the bond between polychromy and the wood weakens. It gradually flakes off. Over time, the binding materials age, causing them to lose their strength and became brittle. The sculptures that was placed inside the chapels are in better conditions. Their state significantly differs from wooden carvings that were outside. The wood less decayed and the polychromy has been better preserved. When polychromy chipped away or faded, wooden artworks were repeatedly repaired. Frequently repainted was not done professionally, and the color modeling of the sculptures became distant from the original image, with paint applied to the broken and destroyed wood. The photo shows roughly overpainted sculpture. In this case, was used aluminum powder that was intended for painting radiators, so the stars and the face. When sculptures outside began to decay, metal sheets were often nailed to the upper parts of the sculptures in order to protect from precipitation. The photo shows a fragment of the sculpture that was on the pediment of church. Tin biretta was made during the renovation. So can you also can you see the other signs of restorations besides the biretta? So as you see, the face is also overpainted, but the beard also overpainted with the same color. Severely damaged sculptures are usually conserved. That means we remove factors that damage artworks, consolidate the structure of artworks or of works, and remaining authentic fragments. When treating sculptures, we often encourage damaged and altered wood structures. Depending on the degree of decay, certain polymers dissolved in solvents are selected to consolidate the damaged wood. Consolidation process is long and requiring multiple applications until the decayed wood is fully consolidated. Between applications, the wood must dry completely, so the excess moisture doesn't make the wood swell. Remaining polychromy is usually very fragile and has lifted from the support. We also need to consolidate it and glue it to the base. Consolidant is applied with a fine brush and multiple applications are necessary. Deeper cracks in wood are also filled. This protects the wood from dust, dirt, further humidity damage, and also gives a sense of harmonious view. If sculpture does not stand or is unstable, we usually make a stable supporting structure. So this slide shows an example of sculpture with a stable base. As you see, it is important because the sculpture is very high. So the question is, can conserved wood sculptures be placed outdoors? From restorer's perspective, we don't recommend to place restored sculptures outdoors. However, there can be different restoration projects, protective solutions. like lifting the sculpture from the ground. In this case, it prevents the wood from coming into direct contact with the soil. And there is another example of wooden sculptures being displayed outdoors. In this case, they are under the roof, so they are partly exposed to the direct precipitation. And if a wooden sculpture is inseparable from its surroundings, a replica made of wood or other materials may be built as an alternative. And when restoring and preserving cultural heritage, all conservation processes and materials must follow conservation principles. The principle of reversibility allows the conservator to use materials and methods that can be removed without damaging an object, either now or in the future. The principle of stability, the conservator must use extremely stable materials that will not change or alter the artwork for the long time after conservation. So leaving conserved wooden artwork outdoors, we are encouraging accelerated processes of destruction. We leave it to be taken by the nature of cycle. We will not find any material that would completely stop these processes and ensure the preservation of the work. We recommend to move it indoors where we can ensure the regulated environment conditions like appropriate temperature, humidity, protection from insects, microorganisms, and direct sunlight. So thank you for your attention.